Hello friends, welcome to the Fundamental Pharmacy for GPAT 2021 exam. ठीक है, lot of students have questions in their mind how to prepare for GPAT. Okay, so we are going to discuss about it today. We are going to discuss about it how to prepare for GPAT. Okay, so this presentation is presented by Mr. Sachin Zadav. Question. We will discuss what is GPAT, what is the importance of GPAT, what are the benefits, what is the syllabus, what was the cutoff of last 5 years, then how to start the preparation. From here you should start the preparation. Okay, so welcome all GPAT 2020 aspirants to Fundamental Pharmacy. ये this is a unique video and I request to everyone, you must watch this up to the end. Okay, and I am damn sure that all of you will like this video. So please request, it is a request to watch this video up to the end. Okay, so first point, what is GPAT and who used to conduct it? Okay, so GPAT is nothing but the graduate pharmacy aptitude test. It is the test to evaluate how much you are graduate in the pharmacy. Okay, then it is a reflection of your graduation in the pharmacy. So earlier it was conducted by Maharaja Sayajirao University Baroda, then it was shifted to AICTE, and now the GPAT is conducted by this National Testing Agency, that is NTA. Okay, so it is a graduate pharmacy aptitude test. It is a test to evaluate how much you are graduate in the pharmacy. Then it is a reflection of your graduation in pharmacy. Okay, so earlier it was conducted by Maharaja Sayajirao University, Baroda. Then it was conducted by AICTE, and now it is conducted by that NTA. Okay, so next important point. What is the importance of GPAT and what are the benefits? Why should you go for GPAT? आपको GPAT क्यों देना चाहिए? क्या benefits क्या मिलेंगे आपको? तो इसके बारे में थोड़ा सा डिस्कस कर लेते हैं. So it is GPAT is important for your post graduation. In post graduation, if you qualified GPAT, you will be easily get admission into the post graduation, like different to pursue your post graduation, that is Master of Pharmacy, Master of Science, and Master of Technology. Okay, so you can get admission to MPharm, MS, and NIPER. Then you can of course MS, after you have to give NIPER exam after the GPAT, then you will get admission into MS. Then next government fellowship. जितने भी गवर्नमेंट फेलोशिप होते हैं, फॉर एग्जांपल जूनियर रिसर्च फेलो, सो यू आर एलिजिबल फॉर गवर्नमेंट फेलोशिप्स. देन you will be preferred in government jobs as well as private jobs. Okay, so next benefit of GPAT is 12.4 thousand per month. Government will give you stipend of 12.4 thousand per month for 2 years. So your masters will be free of cost and there will be no burden on your parents regarding the fees of your post graduation. So you must qualify the GPAT so that your masters will be free of cost. No money will be required from your parents. Then you will be prepared in industry, academics, etc. So most of the private industry, for example those who are multinational companies, they are giving preference, they are preferring only GPAT qualified candidates. Okay, and most of the academics also started nowadays, they also started preparing the GPAT qualified candidates only. Okay, so then next benefit of GPAT. So while preparing the GPAT, while preparing for the GPAT, obviously it also consists of some NIPER syllabus, drug inspector and pharmacist. So while preparing the GPAT, you automatically, GPAT is not only for MPharm, so it will be helpful for you your NIPER exam, drug inspector, government pharmacist, any exam. Okay, so prepare GPAT केयरफुली एंड सीरियसली. ओके, बहुत सारे बच्चों को लगता है कि जब जीपैट करेंगे तो मास्टर में एडमिशन लेंगे, उसके लिए है. नहीं, जीपैट का बेनिफिट दूसरा भी है. ये आपको नाइपर के लिए मदद करेगा, ये आपको ड्रग इंस्पेक्टर के. देखो इसमें कैसा है, जीपैट में अगर आपने प्रिपरेशन किया तो आपका आधा प्रिपरेशन नाइपर का, आधा प्रिपरेशन जो भी एग्जाम है ड्रग इंस्पेक्टर फार्मासिस्ट का, इसमें ही हो जाता है. सो आपको सीरियसली प्रिपेयर करना चाहिए जीपैट. ओके, so these are the some benefits of GPAT. So we will move on next point. Next point is how to apply for GPAT and what is the exam pattern. Okay, so applications form are usually announced in the November December of every year, and the exam is conducted in January, okay, of every year. Then result are declared in the February. Okay, so it is a GPAT is nothing but online exam of 3 hours, which consists of 125 MCQs. Okay, so each MCQs is for 4 marks. So 125 into 4, 500. So total it is an exam of 500 marks of okay, it is time duration is 3 hours, and for each correct questions you will be awarded with 4 marks, and for each wrong answer you will be awarded with negative 1 mark. So this is the pattern. 0.5% negative marking is there. Okay, so you have to little bit serious about, you must know about the negative marking, because most of the time you doesn't think about the negative marking, and you gets failed in the GPAT. So you have to must you have to clear this about negative marking. Okay, so each correct answer will be given 4 marks, each negative answer will be given, each incorrect answer will be given as negative 1 marks. Okay, so what was the cutoff of last 5 years? So we will discuss about that. In 2014-15 there was a cutoff of 120 marks. I am talking about the general category. So in 2014-15 there was around 120 marks of cutoff. Obviously for SC ST OBC candidates it is going to be less. In 2016-17 there was a cutoff of 113, 115 respectively. In 2016 there was a cutoff of 113 marks. In 2017 there was a cutoff of 115 mark. Okay, then in 2018 there was a cutoff of 137, and in 2019 there was a cutoff of 141 marks respectively. Okay, in 2020 there was a cutoff of 161 marks. In 2020 paper was little bit easy, and cutoff marks was reached to a new height, that is 161. Okay, so SC ST candidate will have qualification marks around 90 or 890 95. Okay, and OBC will have qualifying mark around 120 125. Remember this. Then your 40 to 50 correct answers in GPAT exam out of 125 questions, your 40 to 50 questions correct questions will you will qualify you, provided that you should not have attempt more than 60-65 MCQs. Okay, इसमें 40-50 करेक्ट आंसर क्वालिफाई आपको कर सकते हैं, लेकिन लेकिन इसमें क्या है, उसी टाइम आपने ज़्यादा क्वेश्चन अटेम्प्ट नहीं करना है. अगर आपने 60 या 65 क्वेश्चन अटेम्प्ट किए, उसमें के 40 या 50 क्वेश्चन भी करेक्ट है आपके, तो यू विल बी क्वालिफाइड. ठीक है, सो यू हैव टू रिमेम्बर दिस कि आपको कितना करना है, कैसे करना है. ठीक है, सो नेक्स्ट इज हाउ टू स्टार्ट प्रिपरेशन, व्हाट इज द सिलेबस फॉर GPAT. सो the syllabus for GPAT is nothing but your 4-year syllabus of Bachelor of Pharmacy, and it is also given by NTA. So but you should focus on your 4-year syllabus. So NTA syllabus is because they have mandatory to give the syllabus, that's why they have given the syllabus, but it is nothing but your 4-year syllabus. Okay, and where from how to start you, and in which year you should ideally in which year you should start the preparation of GPAT. So you should start the preparation of GPAT in second year or third year itself of your B Pharm. Okay, why I am saying second year or third year, because it is the ideal time, it is the ideal time to get used to the GPAT, because in second year third year you will have less work as compared to if you are in final year and third year. So your all B Pharm syllabus can be divided into two subjects. Okay, so basic subject and applied subject. Okay, so what are the basic subjects? So your anatomy, physiology, biochemistry, microbiology, physical pharmacy, pharmaceutical engineering, dispensing pharmacy, organic chemistry. So these all are basic subjects. Okay, then what are the applied? Pharmacology, then industrial pharmacy, biopharmaceutics, medicinal chemistry, analysis, biotechnology, etc. These are the applied subject. So applied subject are dependent on basic subject. If you understand basic subject well, then you will easily understand the applied subject. This is the main point. And most of the student thinks that uh, most of the questions in the GPAT are from pharmacology, industrial pharmacy. They, so that's why they go directly to the pharmacology and industrial pharmacy, and this is wrong. You should read basic subject first, and then you should read applied subject. Okay, so there are some few other subjects also. For example, herbal drug technology or cognosy, jurisprudence, biochemist, biotechnology, hospital pharmacy, and drugstore business management. So actually the syllabus is divided into three parts. There is basic subject, applied subject, and your other subject. Okay, so you must start from basic subject. And why you should start from basic subject first? Because you must start basic subject. And why you should start the basic subject? Because see, your pharmacology is applied subject. Okay, and it is dependent on your subjects like anatomy, physiology, biochemistry, microbiology, and pathophysiology. So pharmacology is dependent on anatomy, physiology, biochemistry, microbiology, and pathology. Okay, that's why you should start basic subject first. Example, I will explain you. If you know the physiology of acid secretion in the stomach, what are the different factors involved in that acid secretion, what is the impact of different factors, what is the role of histamine receptor, prostaglandin receptor, somatostatin, what is the role of somatostatin, prostaglandin, what is the role of proton pump, what is the impact or influence of cholinergic system. If you know these points from physiology, you can easily understand the probable classification and the mechanism of anti-secretory agents or anti-ulcer agents. Okay, so that's why you have to read physiology first if you want to understand the pharmacology. Okay, in the similar manner, if you if you know the microbiology, that means if you know the structure of bacteria, virus, fungus, etc., their micro if you know the structure of virus, bacteria, fungi, their process of cell division, their process of multiplication, their cell components. Okay, there how bacterial DNA replicates, how transcription is there, how translation is there, what are the different enzymes that are involved in the these processes. If you know these, you can easily understand the classification as well as the mechanism of antibacterial drugs. Okay, you can easily understand the classification and mechanism of antibacterial drug. That's why you have to read basic first. So basic biochemistry is basic, your microbiology is basic, anatomy physiology is basic for your pharmacology. If you okay, so if you know in the similar way, if you know the organic chemistry, you have, if you very good in organic chemistry, so medicinal chemistry and analysis is going to be easy for you. Okay, so organic chemistry is the basis for medicinal chemistry and analysis. Likewise, pharmaceutical unit operations or pharmaceutical engineering, then physical pharmacy, then dispensing pharmacy is the basis for industrial pharmacy and biopharmaceutics. Okay, I will explain with example. For example, if you know the HLB value, if you know the, if you know the chemical kinetics, if you know if you know the stability, if you know the zeta potential, if you know the interfacial phenomenon. So if you know the interfacial phenomenon, zeta potential, then HLB values from physical pharmacy, so it will be easy for you to understand the suspension as well as emulsion from industrial pharmacy. Then second, likewise, if you know the chemical kinetics from physical pharmacy, different rate of reactions, etc., half life, shelf life, so you can easily understand the biopharmaceutics. So, and if you know the unit operations, you can easily understand the industrial pharmacy. So because unit operations physical pharmacy is dependent, is basis for your industrial pharmacy as well as biopharmaceutics. Okay, so you must read the basic subject first. Okay, then we will shortly discuss about the different subject and their weightage for the GPAT exam. Okay, so your subject, for our convenience we can divide into two types: major subject, or that is applied, or minor subject, that is basic. Okay, so most of the questions obviously it will be from your pharmacology part. So pharmacology you will have around 20-25 questions. Industrial pharmacy and biopharmaceutics you will have around 10 to 15 questions. Medicinal chemistry 5 to 7 questions. Analysis 3 to 5. Jurisprudence you will have 3 to 4 questions every year in the paper from jurisprudence. Pharmacognosy you can expect around 10 to 12 questions from pharmacognosy, but in 2019 there was a 12 question from pharmacognosy. In 2020 they have asked less questions from cognosy, around there was 7 to 8 questions from cognosy. So next, organic chemistry is important. They might ask around 5 to 10 questions from organic chemistry and 3 to 5 questions from biochemistry. See, organic chemistry, there are lot of things which can be asked from organic chemistry rather than medicinal chemistry. Medicinal chemistry, there are only few questions that can be asked. There are only few points that can be asked in the exam from medicinal chemistry, so that's why they are asking more questions from organic chemistry. Then you can expect 3 to 5 questions from anatomy physiology, 2 to 3 questions from microbiology biotechnology, 1 to 2 questions. Pharmaceutical engineering, there are every year 2 to 4 questions from pharmaceutical engineering in the paper. 2 to 4 questions from physical pharmacy, then 1 to 3 questions from hospital pharmacy DSBM. You can expect 1 to 3 questions from previous paper, and there might be 3 to 5 questions from your calculation part. So you must keep in mind the subject and their expected MCQs. Okay, so next point is, what are the special tips for exam. So you have to read carefully and understand the question first. Okay, you have to read the question properly. You have to identify the words like not, except, odd, absent, all, etc. from the questions, and you should understand the question well first. Okay, then try to solve easy questions correctly. Just try to solve easy questions. You can easily find 50 to 60 questions that are easy from the paper. You must have to solve these questions with accuracy. If you want to get good rank, then you must go for 80 questions. Okay, if you just want to qualify, you can easily qualify by answering these 50 to 60 questions. Okay, if you want a good rank, then you must go for 80 questions and try to maintain the accuracy in the answer. If your 80 questions are correct, then you are going to get rank 1 in the GPAT. Okay, so your accuracy is going to decide your rank. So, and next point is, do not try to solve the problem which involves the complicated calculation unless you are practiced it before exam. तो इसमें कैसा होता है, जो कैलकुलेशन वाले पार्ट होता है, कैलकुलेशन वाला पार्ट, इसमें अगर आपका प्रैक्टिस नहीं है तो मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम आपका आंसर गलत होने के चांसेस होते हैं. तो अगर आपकी प्रैक्टिस है इसमें, तो आप कैलकुलेशन वाले प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व कर सकते हो, अगर अदरवाइज मत करो. ठीक है, सो दिस वाज द पार्ट. एंड देन हाउ टू, नेक्स्ट पॉइंट इज हाउ टू स्टडी द MCQs. तो तो एमसीक्यूज कैसे करना है आपको, तो आपको एमसीक्यू फॉर एग्जांपल आई हैव गिवन हियर वन एमसीक्यू एग्जांपल, what is the anti-inflammatory drug, which anti-inflammatory drug is selective COX-2 inhibitor? Your options are acetaminophen, nimesulide, diclofenac, celecoxib and nebometon. So obviously the answer is celecoxib, but this is not the end of your study. So you must read everything about the acetaminophen, nimesulide, diclofenac, celecoxib and nebometon. For example, what is acetaminophen? Acetaminophen is also called as paracetamol. Okay, so it is a active metabolite of phenacetin. Okay, it is a mostly as a antipyretic, it is mostly used as an antipyretic. It is a selective COX-3 inhibitor in the brain. It is a selective COX-3 inhibitor in the brain. Then what is the major adverse effect of acetaminophen? That is liver toxicity, and it is because of one metabolite, that is para hydroxynapthaquinone. Okay, so you must read in this depth, you must read the in this level of the depth. For each option, nimesulide, it is a anti-inflammatory, it is an anti-inflammatory analgesic antipyretic drug. It is banned in India, and its mechanism is, it is a non-selective COX inhibitor. It will that means it is a selective preferential, sorry, it is a preferential COX inhibitor, preferential COX-2 inhibitor. It is banned in now. It also has a liver toxicity. Okay, what is diclofenac? It is a aryl acetic acid derivative. Okay, it is also analgesic, antipyretic and anti-inflammatory. Okay, then you must know about the adverse effect of diclofenac. It causes gastric irritation. Okay, then what is celecoxib? Celecoxib, repocoxib, all coxib are the selective COX-2 inhibitors, and their adverse effect, they have a lot of adverse effect. Some of drugs have cardiovascular adverse effect, some of drugs will have some other adverse, lot of adverse effect are there. So you have to read everything about the all options. For example, nebometon. Nebometon is a anti-inflammatory drug, that is a naphthalene and naphthalenic acid derivative, and it is also a prodrug. Okay, so you must understand, you must be aware about the everything about this option. This is the one way to study. ये ये एक टाइप है स्टडी करने का. अगर ऐसा नहीं कर सकते तो यू मस्ट ट्राई टू पिक यूर नोट्स. आप अपना नोट्स बनाइए, वो उससे पढ़िए. अदरवाइज यू कैन यूज रेडीमेड नोट्स. ओके, सो इन दिस मैनर यू हैव टू रीड ऑल अबाउट द एमसीक्यूज. ठीक है, ऐसे एमसीक्यूज के आपको पढ़ना है. ठीक है, और जो भी फॉर एग्जांपल आइडेंटिफाई द स्ट्रक्चर ऑफ बीटा ब्लॉकर गिवन इन द इमेज. ठीक है, ये जो ये स्ट्रक्चर ये आए और आपको ये these are the four options. So you must understand, you must see the structure properly. You must identify some heterocyclic ring in the structure. For example, here you can see there is indole ring. So indole ring, and here is a indole. Okay, sorry, here is a indole there is given in the name. So the structure is of pindolol. Okay, so you can study, you can solve the MCQs in this way. Okay, I'm not going to take more and more MCQs, so it will be very lengthy video, so that's why. And lastly, I would like to thank you all of you for watching this video. And if you have any doubts, any queries, you can call me anytime. Okay, you can call me anytime. I will give my numbers in the description. And most of the student will think what is this, because this is not a PowerPoint presentation. ये PowerPoint presentation नहीं है, this is a different type of presentation. ये मैंने कैसे prepare किया है, how I have prepared this presentation, what are the effects, how I have created this effects. If you want to know, you can contact me. Okay, I will give you the number in the description. Okay, ठीक है, thank you very much for watching this video.